Everyone knows Ted Bundy. He was an American serial killer who kidnapped and murdered numerous young girls throughout the 1970s. Following over 10 years of denial, he finally admitted to committing 30 homicides across 7 states from 1974 to 1978. Ted Bundy was executed by electric chair on January 24, 1989. But what made him commit such evil crimes? In the hidden parts of Ted Bundy's childhood, strange things happened. To most people, he seemed like a regular kid with friends and family who thought he was fine. But underneath, something wasn't right. Long ago, in a quiet place called Burlington, Vermont, a baby boy named Theodore Cowell came into the world. His mom, Louise Cowell, thought about giving him away, but her dad, Sam, stopped her. Little Theodore, who later became Ted Bundy, spent his early days not knowing the truth. He believed Louise was his sister, not his mom. It was a strange family secret that confused him. As he grew up, he started to figure things out. He realized that brothers and sisters couldn't be so far apart in age. Bundy's grandmother, she was depressed a lot and didn't like going outside. His grandfather, well, he had a temper that could make things pretty scary. He did bad things to animals, people who worked with him, and even his own family. Bundy did some strange things when he was a kid. One time, his aunt woke up and saw him putting knives near her while she was sleeping. She thought it was weird, but nobody did anything about it. A doctor said that kids only do these kinds of things when they have experienced some trauma. When Bundy was just 3 years old, he and his mom left Philadelphia and moved to Tacoma, Washington. His mom gave him a new last name, Nelson, so people wouldn't know he was born out of wedlock. But Bundy didn't like the new place. He got even more upset when his mom married a man named Johnny Bundy. Bundy didn't like Johnny because he was jealous. One day, Bundy threw a big fit at a store, and he even wet his pants to make his mom and Johnny mad. But Johnny still adopted Bundy and gave him the now famous last name, Bundy.
Could you describe for us Ted's early childhood and his upbringing? How did you raise Ted?
Well, we tried to be very conscientious parents, ones who did things with our children, gave them the best we could give them on a middle-class income, but mostly we wanted to give them lots of love.
Bundy and Johnny didn't get along. Bundy wanted fancy things, but Johnny couldn't afford them. Bundy dreamed about being adopted by famous people who had lots of money. As Bundy grew up, he didn't respect Johnny, and they fought a lot. In Ted Bundy's life, there were secrets and mysteries. He didn't like his mother because she had him when she wasn't married, and this angered him. His mother took care of him, but then she had more children, so she couldn't give him all her attention, and this also caused Ted to be unhappy. Years later, when Ted was caught by the police, he said that he felt unloved. There are different stories about how Ted found out he was born without a dad. Some say he found his birth certificate when he was a teenager and saw it said "unknown" for his father. Others say a cousin teased him about it and showed him the birth certificate. Ted couldn't shake off the bad feelings, and when a friend tried to comfort him, he snapped back. He didn't get along well with his classmates. As a kid, he didn't have the social skills he later used to charm people. He had trouble speaking, and the other kids made fun of him in the Boy Scouts. He was also not great at sports. He used to be in high school and hardly ever went on dates. He explained, "It wasn't that I didn't like girls or was scared of them, I just didn't know what to do with them." He was better in school, but never the top student. However, in between all these troubles, there were normal moments. He had a few good friends, did some part-time jobs, and even became the vice president of a church youth group.
And during high school, did Ted ever have any employment or jobs?
Yes, he worked as a newspaper delivery boy at the local paper. He did a lot of lawn cutting jobs. He and a friend had quite an enterprise there. And he worked as a cleanup person in one of the bowling alleys in the area.
It's strange, but he once saved a friend's niece from drowning. Ted had a darker side too. Once, he hit a fellow Boy Scout on the head with a stick from behind. He liked scaring people and even made hidden traps in the ground that hurt a girl. He was cruel to animals too. His lawyer talked about how he would buy mice from a pet store and play a game where he decided which ones lived and which ones died. This need for control over living things would play a big part in his crimes. He also had a strange fascination with detective stories that had a lot of violence and murder. This was just the beginning of the dark story of his life.
What effect would it have on you if Ted were executed?
Objection. Oh, just fine.
If you liked this video, then give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this.